I'm going to show you some chord drills to help you get comfortable playing moving bass in minor keys in swing styles. This first progression moves from the 1 chord to the 4 chord to the 5 chord to the 2 chord and then back to the 1 chord. Here's how I'm playing the 1 chord, in this case A minor 7. This is a movable chord form, so I'm placing the root of the shape on the A, 6th string, 5th fret, and even though the diagram says to play with fingers 2 and 3, which is how I'm doing now, I do this when I'm strumming. When I play moving bass and I need some extra fingers, I'll just bar this shape. Doesn't matter that I'm not muting strings 1 or 5 because I'm finger picking and I'm just not playing those strings. So strumming, I play it with fingers 2 and 3. Finger picking with moving bass, I will often just bar. I'm using this form for the D minor 7, which is the 4 chord in this progression. I'm placing the root on the D on the 5th string, 5th fret. Our 2 chord in this progression is a B minor 7 flat 5. Here's how I'm playing that. I'm placing the root on the B, 6th string, 7th fret. And then the E7 is the 5 chord in this progression. That's the shape I'm using, and I'm placing the root on the E on the 5th string at the 7th fret. Here's the comping pattern. It sounds nice even without the moving bass. On the A minor 7 first, it sounds like this. So what's happening is my thumb is playing every beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my bass. And I'm playing those little chord stabs after beat 1 and after beat 3. So it's 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Now, every chord in this progression only lasts 2 beats. So if I add the other chords back in with the counting, it's going to be 1 and 2, then move to the D minor 7, 3 and 4, then the B minor 7 flat 5, 1 and 2, the E7, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. When we add moving bass to the drill, we're going to play the root, the little chord stab, and then the 5th of each chord. If the root is on the 6th string, you can find the 5th of that chord on the 5th string 2 frets higher. So there's my root, 5th, root, 5th. And if the root is on the 5th string, you can find the 5th on the same fret on the 6th string. So there's my root, 5, root, 5th. Apply that to the progression, A minor 7, there's my root, it's on the 6th string, so the 5th of that chord will be 2 frets higher on the 5th string. D minor 7, here's my root on the 5th string, so the 5th of that chord will be same fret on the 6th string. B minor 7 flat 5, we're going to talk about that flat 5. So first here's the root, it's on the 6th string. Now it has a flat 5, so the regular, or I should say the perfect 5th, would be here. But the flat 5 will be 1 fret lower than that. So for this one, here's our root, and here's our flat 5. E7, here's our root, and then our 5th. So here's our bass line. Flat 5. So there's the moving bass line. Now we add those chord stabs back in after beat 1, after beat 3. Root, 5th, root, 5th, root, flat 5, root, 5. I'm showing this in A minor, but make sure to play this in all keys. These are all movable chords, so all you have to do is pick a new key. That's your 1. Play everything the same relative to that 1. Let's do this in B minor. So here's A. We were just here at the 5th fret. B is at the 7th fret. There's our new 1. We play everything the same relative to that. This is a similar drill in D minor. Now the root of our 1 chord is on the 5th string. Now D minor 7 is our 1 chord. Here's how I'm playing that. Exactly the same as I played the D minor 7 in the first drill, with the root on the 5th string, 5th fret. The G minor 7 is our 4 chord. So I'm placing this shape on the G, 6th string, 3rd fret. And again with this shape, if I'm strumming, I will use fingers 2 and 3. If I'm finger picking because I want to play some extra bass lines, free up some fingers, I'll bar that shape and just not pluck the strings that I don't want to sound. E minor 7 flat 5 is our 2 chord. That's how I'm playing this one. Placing the root on the E on the 5th string at the 7th fret. And then the A7, that's our 5 chord in this one. I'm placing the root of this shape on the A, 6th string, 5th fret. Now this is how I play it when I'm strumming, and I want to mute strings 1 and 5, all separate fingers. However, just like that other minor 7 shape, if I am doing more finger style and I want to free up some fingers to play moving bass, I will play these 3 notes, all barring with my first finger, and then that little note off to the side on the 3rd string with my 2nd finger. Same comping pattern. Here's what it sounds like first without the moving bass. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And then we add the moving bass, playing the roots and fifths, finding those roots and fifths just as we did with the first drill. For the D minor 7, there's our root on the 5th string, so this will be the 5th of that chord. G minor 7, here's our root on the 6th string, so this will be the 5th of that chord. E minor 7 flat 5, here's the here's the root, and then the flat 5, just like in the other one, we're going to lower the 5th. So this would be the perfect 5th. This is the flat 5. So we're going to play a root flat 5 for that one. A7, here's our root, and here's our 5th. So here's our bass line. Flat 5. And then we add the chords back in. And practice this very slowly at first. Just get your fingers used to that motion. Once you get used to it, you can start to speed it up. This next drill moves from the 1 chord, which we're playing as a minor 7, to the 3 chord, which we're alternating to a dominant 7, moving to the 2 chord, which we're also going to alter, change it to a dominant 7, and then the 5 chord, which is a dominant 7. So a lot of dominant 7s in this one, but this is in a minor key. These are all chord forms we've seen in the first 2 drills. A minor 7, that's the 1 chord. I'm playing it just as I did in the first drill. And Again, I'm fingering 2 and 3 right now because I'm strumming. If I'm finger picking and I need extra fingers for bass notes, I will just bar that. For both the 3 and the 2 chord, I'm playing this shape, this dominant 7 shape. And again, I play this one with separate fingers when I'm strumming because I want to mute strings 1 and 5. But if I need to free up some fingers, I will bar those 3 and play, I should say I will bar these 3 notes with my first finger, and I'll play that little note off to the side with my second finger. For the C7, I'm placing this shape at the 8th fret on that C on the 6th string, and for the B7, I'm just sliding down 1 fret to the 7th fret. And then the E7, we played this in the first drill, playing this shape with the root on the E on the 5th string, 7th fret. In the first measure, the bass is moving stepwise. In the second measure, we're playing roots and fifths. Bass line is low A, and then we just play up the A minor scale. We're in the key of A minor, so we use an A minor scale. So we're using that to approach the root for the C7. So there's our root for the C7. The next root is the B7. It's just 1 fret lower than the C7. And what we're going to do is kind of enclose it. We're going to go 1 fret lower than the B7. This is the last note of the first measure to a B flat, and then raise it up to a B7. So first measure, up the scale. We're going to enclose and play up to the B7 here, and then from here it's roots and fifths. So root, fifth, no flat 5 in this one, it's just 5. And then for the E7, root and 5. So here's our bass line. Up the scale, surround the B, root 5, root 5. And now we put the chords back in. Make sure you practice slowly at first and then gradually build up speed. And practice in all keys. Pick a new 1 chord, play everything the same relative to that. So let's try G minor, 2 frets lower than A minor. Same idea, now we're in D minor and the root of our 1 chord is on the 5th string. These are all familiar chords from the first 3 exercises. Here's I'm playing my 1 chord, the D minor. Same way as I did it in some of the other exercises. First finger on the root, on the D, 5th string, 5th fret. And for my 3 chord and my 2 chord, which are both altered to dominant 7 chords, I'm using this shape. For the F7, I'm placing the root of the shape on the F at the 8th fret on the 5th string, and for the E7, I just need to slide that down 1 fret. And then this is what I'm using for my A7. Fingers 1, 2, 4, and 3 separately when I'm strumming, but when I want to add some moving bass, I bar it, play that extra little note off to the side with my second finger, so now my other fingers are free for some moving bass. Just like the previous drill, now in the first measure, the bass is moving stepwise. In the second measure, the bass is playing roots and fifths. Here's the root for my 1 chord. We're in the key of D minor now, so now I'm going to play up the D minor scale. Not for very long, because we just have to play it up till we get to the F. But so playing up the scale, and there's my F. That's my root for the next chord. And as we did in the previous drill, we're going to kind of surround the E. The E is just 1 fret lower, so we just got done playing the F root. We're going to play 1 fret lower than the upcoming E, and then play up to the E for our E7 root. That's our root, and here's our fifth. Now we're playing roots and fifths. Root for the A7, and fifth for the A7. So here's our bass line. Up the scale, surround the E, root, 5, root, 5. And then we put the chords back in. And practice in all keys. Find a new 1 chord, we'll do C minor. Everything is now the same relative to wherever the new 1 is. Check out this video for moving bass lines in major keys, and check out this playlist for a deep dive into movable chords. And for more guitar lessons, music theory, and solo guitar arrangements, please subscribe.